It's a beautiful morning here at our poultry farm, and as you guys can see, some of our birds are resting and they have had their morning feeds. They are resting, others are outside. As you guys know, we are currently doing local chicken on a commercial scale and on a free range system too, which means that they can roam and move freely whenever they wish. So other birds are outside and others are inside right over here. So we have one which is resting right on the perch and one is down there. Here is our feeder and it is completely empty. And right over here we have our drinker. As you guys can see, the drinker is very clean and the water inside is also very clean. Ensure that you wash your drinkers every day in the morning before you give water to your birds. That will help so much to prevent diseases which come through the dirty water. You can take a look at some of our birds and they are all resting. And right over here we have a chick which is 1.5 months old, and oh, she is also resting. So this is our setup. Behind our brooder we have a hen which wants to lay. I think you guys can hear her. So that's with our poultry structure and our birds. Let's now shift to what has brought us today. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to mix your poultry feeds right from the beginning until the end. It is actually going to be a lengthy video because we will be talking about anything that you need to know about mixing your poultry feeds right from the scratch up to the finishing level. First, we are going to talk about the ingredients that are needed in mixing the poultry feeds and as well the nutrients that they also supply, one by one. And then second, the percentage of ingredients that is needed in mixing a certain number of kilograms of poultry feeds. We will also talk about the alternative ingredients that are used in mixing poultry feeds. Like for instance, in my country, Uganda, the major source of proteins is soya beans. But in some countries, they don't have soya bean. In today's video, I will also be giving you an alternative of feeds that you can use as a component or as ingredients while you are mixing your poultry feeds. And lastly, we will also be looking at how you can mix your poultry feeds for broilers and layers at different stages. As a bonus tip, we will also show you how to mix poultry feeds for local birds. So guys, if you are to see the things that we are going to be looking at, you will find that they are very lengthy and they are very many. Probably, I am not going to be doing that all in one video. I'm actually going to split the videos into two. This is the first part and the second part is going to come very soon. The reason why I am doing this is because many poultry farmers find it very hard and very complicated when it comes to mixing their own poultry feeds. First is because they don't know the food nutrients which that ingredient is giving to his or her birds. Second is because some ingredients, like let me say, when it comes to energy giving foods, we have maize, we have wheat, we have barley. So this farmer may at times use all this maize, wheat and barley thinking that they all supply different nutrients, and yet they only supply one nutrient. So in today's video, I'll be breaking all this into small forms so that you can understand the benefit of each nutrient in a bird's body. By the time you will be mixing your own poultry feeds, you will know that this particular ingredient here supplies these nutrients to a bird, and if it is lacked, this is what it will bring to my bird. Just to let us know, in poultry farming, poultry feeds sum up to 80% of the total cost of production, and the remaining 20% goes to things like the medication, the labor cost, the water and other small things, but the huge share is gone to the poultry feeds. That means that the moment the prices of feeds increase, it automatically shows that we are going to get less profits or even sometimes nothing at all. That's why we have come up with an idea of mixing our own poultry feeds in order to reduce the cost of production. That way we can get more money at the end as profit from our poultry business. Starting with the ingredients, when it comes to poultry feeds, we have two types of ingredients that are used in mixing the poultry feeds. First, we have the micro ingredients And then the second is the macro ingredients. The micro ingredients are these ingredients that are needed in small quantities while mixing the poultry feeds. And then the macro ingredients are the ingredients that are needed in large quantities while you are mixing your poultry feeds. Examples of these ingredients that are needed in small quantities, which are the micro ingredients, include things like the premix, the amino acids, which in them include things like the vitamins, minerals, growth enhancers, toxin binders, and many other more. And the main purpose of these micro ingredients is to improve growth, performance, and then productivity of a bird. For example, in layers, when you give these birds premix, they increase the rate at which the birds lay. And then the macro ingredients, which are the ingredients that are needed in large quantities, include things like the maize, the soybean, the fish meal, and many other more, depending on the availability of some ingredients in some countries. These macro ingredients help to give strength or energy to the bird, for instance, the maize or the energy source. And when it comes to the growth rate, things like the soybean also help so much. Much as these ingredients are classified into two, from there, they are also further classified into 7 categories. And they include water, proteins, carbohydrates, which is the energy source, fats and oils, minerals, vitamins, and then feed additives. Let's start with the water. Like human beings need water every day, birds as well need water 24 hours every day. As we all know, water is life. And without water, of course, you cannot function very well. I remember there was a competition in my area where people were asked not to take water for 2 days, but you are free to take any kind of drink, whether the soda, anything. So these guys started. After 9 hours, these guys could not take it anymore, much as there were all sorts of drinks in front of them, meaning that there is a space in our body which needs water, water in particular. The same applies to birds also. And in birds, water helps so much in very many ways. One is to transport the nutrients in the birds. The feeds which a bird eats, when they are now digested, they need this same water to transport these nutrients to other parts of the body of a chicken. I see you can see how useful this water is to our birds. That's why I normally tell people that when you want to start your poultry farm, or when you are now choosing a location for your poultry farm, make sure that you choose a location where there is an easy access to water. The moment you run shortage of water on your poultry farm, that means that you are going to lose your birds. At least you better lack the feeds on your farm than lacking water on your poultry farm. Because with feeds, your birds can stay like up to 4 days without even eating the feeds. But without water, it is very hard for your birds to stay. Remember, they are eating feeds daily, and these feeds need the same water to be transported to other parts of the body. And without the water, that one definitely means that your birds will suffocate and they will all die. On top of that, still on the benefits of the water to our birds, water helps so much in the layer birds. As we all know, an egg is 75% filled with water. Then you can see that it really helps so much when it comes to the layer birds. And to other type of the birds, whether broilers, local chicken, or any other kind of poultry birds, poultry meat is between 65 to 70% moisture. And this moisture is all water. Number 2 is the proteins. Protein is a major nutrient in an ingredient which help to improve on the growth rate in chicken. So guys, when it comes to the major sources of protein, we have 2 sources of protein. We have the plant source and then the animal source. And in plant source, we have sources like soybean, groundnut cake, cottonseed cake, cassava leaf meal, sunflower cake, lupins, and many other more. For some of you who don't know lupins, lupins is a genus of plants in the legume family. And animal sources include things like fish meal, meat meal, bone meal, blood meal, poultry meal, milk and milk byproducts, feather meal, maggot meal, cockroach meal, and many other more. And animal animal protein is more digestible to plant protein. The reason why most people use plant protein is because it is easily found and very, very cheap. The worst part of using animal protein is that other sources are found in bad areas. Like, for instance, let me say the cockroaches. The cockroaches are mostly found in toilets, and if we are to gather things like these cockroaches and then feed with our birds, whereafter we will be eating these birds, that source of the protein alone destroys the appetite that a person will be having in eating these poultry birds. That's why we don't like to use these animal proteins when it comes to feeding our poultry birds. So guys, much as the animal protein is more digestible than the plant protein, I at some point don't recommend you to use other sources of plant proteins, like for instance the cockroaches, because when you use them and people realize, then it will be very, very hard for you to sell out your poultry products. Much as your poultry birds will be very big and looking very healthy, people will ask that what kind of feeds do you use in order for your birds to attain this weight? And you will be like, I feed them with cockroaches. How will it sound? Or how does it sound to you right now? So guys, I'll drop a chart below of the protein source and the percent of the DCP and then the percentage of their digestibility. So guys, you can see it below. The DCP, which is the digestible crude protein, is the basic nutritional requirement for any feed formulation. With the chart above, you can choose which protein source you can use and which protein source is easily available and accessible in your country so that you can use it while you are mixing your own poultry feeds. The poultry content of a feed is listed on a label known as crude protein, which is a measure of nitrogen content. In fact, proteins are large molecules that are built by arranging 20 different amino acids. The bird's biological need is for these 20 different amino acids. A bird is personally able to make 10 of these amino acids from other components, but the other 10 remaining must be present in the feeds. The results of maize and then the soybean begin to approach a good balance for the amino acids. That's why we should look for all these kind of nutrients needed while we are mixing our poultry feed. Number 3 is the energy source. The energy source makes up the biggest component while mixing your poultry feeds. And second, it is followed with the proteins. Carbohydrates, which are components of carbon, hydrogen, and then oxygen, are the major sources of energy to our poultry birds. In fact, they give strength or the energy for our birds to walk, run, and do all other sorts of things. And the major energy source mainly come from cereal grains. And these cereal grains include things like the maize, which is the corn. Some people call it corn in some countries. Wheat, barley, sorghum, cassava, millet, yam, cocoyam, and many other more. And these carbohydrates are also classified into two forms. We have the digestible carbohydrates and then the non-digestible carbohydrates. Digestible carbohydrates, these include things which when a bird eats them, they can get digested in the gizzard. So these things include things like the maize, the wheat, the barley, the sorghum, stuff like that. And then the ones that are non-digestible include things like the cellulose. Cellulose and other non-digestible carbohydrates are classified on a feed label known as crude fiber. And the role of these non-digestible carbohydrates is in the intestines of a chicken. In fact, when it is given in the right amount, it helps so much to fight the intestinal problems that are coming in a chicken. But when you give them in excess, they at times reduce the growth rate of a bird, and at some point you may also incur intestinal problems from a bird. Number 4 is the fats and then oils. Fats or oil are important in a chicken's body because they aid the absorption of important fats in a chicken. And on top of that, fats and then oils also help in warm weather months. They help to keep the bird from feeling overheated, and they also supply energy to a bird. But fats and oils should not be used too much while mixing chicken feeds. And the ingredients of fats and oil include things like soya oil, palm oil, fish oil, full fat soya, groundnut oil, and many other more. Number 5 is the minerals. Minerals help birds to stay healthy and in peak performance. Minerals also help in growing of muscle, feathers, and also in the production of eggs. Minerals are also classified in two forms. We have the macro minerals and then the trace minerals. And these nutrients are given to birds according to the size and then the stage of that bird. Like for instance, macro minerals are minerals that are given to birds which are above 100 per kilo of their body weight. And these minerals include things like calcium, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, and then chloride. Like for instance, layer birds need around 4 grams of calcium every day in order for them to get 2 grams of calcium needed to make one egg. That is in one day. And if you feed your birds with feeds without minerals, your birds may still give you eggs with strong eggshells. This is because their bones produce calcium and then phosphorus that will help them so much in making the eggshells while they are at a laying point. And if this goes for some times, you will find that the eggshells are thin and even weaker. And that is because they have used the calcium that was in their bones. And as a result, you will see your birds now having weak legs, and at some point, their bones will be breaking at any time. So when you are keeping layers, ensure that you give them the right amount of minerals in their feeds every day, so that when they now start laying, you will not encounter these mistakes of having thin and then weak egg shells, your birds being with weak legs. So the second type of mineral is the trace mineral. Trace mineral, these are minerals which are needed in a bird when it is below 100 kilogram of the body weight of that chicken. And these include minerals like the manganese, zinc, iron, selenium, and many other more. The trace minerals are very important in the development and then formation of bones in a chicken. Other sources of minerals include things like limestone, bone meal, oyster shells, decalcium phosphate, and premix like salt, fruits, and then vegetables. The most common ones which are mostly used is the limestone and then the oyster shells, and they are very good sources of minerals. Before we move to the second last ingredients in today's video, if this is your first time on the channel, I kindly beg you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified in case I upload a new video. And most of all, this video here has two sections, and the second section is very important for you to understand it very well. So for you not to miss it, then subscribe to the channel and turn your bell notification on. That way you'll be notified immediately I drop the second video about mixing your poultry feeds. Thanks for doing that. 6 is the vitamins. Poultry birds, especially chicken, require all sorts of vitamins except vitamin C. The purpose of the vitamins in a chicken is to balance fatty acids, amino acids, and then water in a chicken. Soluble vitamins also help so much the immune system of a bird, and also it increases the response to a diseases attacking a bird, therefore fighting that particular disease immediately. Fat soluble vitamins include things like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and then vitamin K. While water soluble vitamins include things like vitamin B1, B2, B6, B12, folic acid, pantothenic acid, biotin, and many other more. Starting with the soluble vitamin, vitamin A is very helpful because it helps in the growth and then the health of a chicken eye, and it also moisturizes the body of a chicken. Vitamin D helps in bone development and then in the formation of an eggshell. And if it is deficient in poultry feeds, then it can also lead to retarded growth, thin eggshells. Vitamin E helps to maintain the brain structure of a chicken. And lastly, vitamin K is responsible for blood clotting mechanism. Its absence can also result into prolonged blood clotting and intermuscular bleeding. That is with the fat soluble vitamins. When it comes to water soluble vitamins, Vitamin B1 helps to maintain appetite in a chicken, digestion of feeds, and also preserves the health of the nerves in a chicken. Vitamin B2 helps to promote the growth in birds. Vitamin B12, which is also a water-soluble vitamin, helps to maintain normal growth and then good feathering. The good feathers that you actually see on a chicken is actually maintained by the B12, which is also a vitamin, a water-soluble vitamin. Number 7, which is the last one, is the feed additives. Feed additives are the ingredients needed in small quantities while mixing the poultry feeds. And these feed additives lies under the micro ingredients that we earlier talked on while we are starting this video. Their major work is to actually perform specific functions in a chicken. These things include ingredients like methionine, lysine, toxin binders, minerals, vitamins, enzymes, and then many other more, which we have now all talked about in the previous points. So guys, that was with the ingredients that we can use in mixing our poultry feeds. If you notice, you will find that under these sources, I have put 4 or even 5 sources of the ingredients that you can use. So guys, you can look for the ones that are available in your country and then use them in mixing your poultry feeds. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to mix your poultry feeds for layer birds, broiler birds, at all different stages. If you don't want to miss that video, I kindly beg you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified immediately I drop the second video. Otherwise, thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye bye.